Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense. No, none taken.
That is right, none taken. I am your host, Easton Moore, and this is the Movie Moron. And so, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I am the host, Easton.
Do you want to say that one more time?
I don't drink tea. Way to ruin the soundbite, but it's okay.
You said the same thing twice. There was silence.
Yeah, well, you guys were fighting, so it really threw me off.
I had no idea what he was trying to tell
want a
me.
blanket.
Oh my gosh. Well, we don't have blankets.
Easton said we can't have blankets if we're recording.
What?
Yeah, we have video now. No blankets if there's video.
It throws off the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I put sweatpants on.
Should have brought sweatpants.
Okay.
You're fine.
Could brought my gray sweatpants.
Okay.
Why do you didn't know the color?
And the people on the other side that are complaining about how cold it is
I'm not
and
complaining.
ruining the whole entire flow of the episode, mainly Trevor,
The
practical co-host himself, Trevor.
That guy's brain is a bag full of cats. You can smell crazy on him.
And we're proving it right now.
I was just saying, it's very apropos.
And then to his left is my lovely wife and our all-time guest, Tristan.
You were made to be ruled. In the end, you will always know.
Should I leave?
I'm
or-
just. What are you talking about? It's just Loki talking to the Avengers.
No,
What are you talking about?
No, I know what it's from, but context, my man, context.
Context means everything. Yeah, so if you didn't get any of the context of the sound clips, we are doing a MCU movie.
That was clever.
Yeah, we're doing an MCU movie this week. I don't know what, 12th of the year, I think. And it's
I don't know.
July? No. If you count every episode, there's been like 48
Yeah,
Marvel
'cause
things this year. But
Moon Knight and Miss Marvel came out this year.
yeah, and I thought there was another one, but
I
it
think
just feels
a movie.
I don't even know what either of those things are.
What was
Yeah,
the last
no.
Marvel movie? Strange. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I
Multiverse of
think
Madness.
2 movies and two TV shows. So we've had so far.
Yeah. So yeah, we're doing Thor: Love and Thunder, the 4th Thor movie.
Wait, fourth?
Yep. Thor 1, Thor 2,
Dark World.
yeah, and then Thor
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Did you miss Ragnarok?
For sure.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay. Which, if it makes you feel any better, does not matter at all. Zero context to this movie. You will lose.
Oh yeah,
absolutely
for this
nothing.
movie. Yeah, yeah.
You watched Avengers Endgame and Infinity War.
Here's the problem, guys.
What's the problem?
All of those movies just jumble in my head. I cannot tell you
What? It's almost like that's the main problem with the MCU.
But here's the thing. You're like, oh, have you seen this movie? Maybe. But I couldn't tell you what was in it
Yeah, I know. But
at all.
But you have the information in your brain.
Maybe.
It's in there somewhere.
Locked away.
Did the Rock Man mean?
I don't know who that is.
Great. Then no, you didn't see the third one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was also confused about the hammers.
Yeah, then you definitely haven't seen Ragnarok.
Yeah, the hammer being cracked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll have our.
I
registered-
think I understood it.
Oh, you understood the movie just fine. It doesn't.
I also
it's-
fell asleep and I think I
You
still
did?
got it. Yeah.
Oh,
I for sure took a little snooze.
that's okay. There's a good part of this that you could definitely snooze
Definitely
through.
snooze through. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
mean,
you're kind
you
of getting
miss-
our sneak peek.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
it's okay. You're getting Tristan's view as just a casual. I don't
Watcher.
give a fuck about any of this.
Not like that.
It's just an expression.
Okay.
You don't care about the MCU,
Yeah.
and we'll get your views on it as a movie, and then two people that are really starting to dislike the direction of all of it. But Tristan, you had something else?
Yeah, I would just like for the record to show that I saw Avengers, the first Avengers, when it came out 4 times.
Wait, hang on. Did you see the first Avenger, or because that's a Captain America movie?
No.
No.
Oh, you
Well,
saw
I mean, I
Aven-
did see that, but I'm talking about Avengers, the
okay,
movie.
okay.
the first of the Avengers
I'm
movie.
messing with you anyway.
Well, I'm not gonna get it, so
Never say that to a woman.
that was pretty spot on.
Whoopsies.
They'll never get it.
But I saw and I really liked it. I was super into it.
Oh, the Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
really, really liked it. And then I was talking to this friend that I had just met, and she said, "Who's your favorite Avenger?" And I was like, "Oh, I really like Captain America." And she was like, "Me too. I have Captain America socks and earrings and Captain America shirt and Captain America this and that and that." And then I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe I don't really like him because I think I have one."
No,
favorite."
You were like, ew, capitalism. Get away.
No, if you were a Disney adult or a Marvel adult, we may not be married.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I was just like,
Meaning
"Oh,
if all of
well,
your
maybe I
identity
don't.
was in Marvel.
Maybe I don't care that much."
Oh, so then you just like stopped caring because you felt like
A little bit, yeah.
that's fair.
Not totally. I still liked it, but I was still like, I don't like this as much as most of the people on here.
Yeah, it's
Just good.
There was a really good tweet I saw today. I think you tweeted. I think the reason I saw it is because of what you retweeted. It was where he said, "Imagine." It was something like, "Imagine having a movie studio that doesn't have to care any." Yeah, why don't you pull it up?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
That treat.
What?
Tweet.
Truly unbelievable to watch a movie studio no longer have any incentives to make their movies well because they managed to weaponize their fan base to hunt down and viciously fight every possible critic of said movies like a pack of feral animals.
Oh, absolutely. And that is
by-
like to a
Yeah, I was about
T.
to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's by a guy named Bailey. Spider-Man 2 video out now. I mean, but his
Yeah.
his @ is Loverboy Media, so
Yeah.
you can go like that if you. Like
Maybe
the way-
he's making of a Spider-Man thing. He used to do a Spider-Man thing. Like he obviously cares about those characters. But yeah, that's to a T what the Marvel fan base is, or what just Marvel is in general at the moment.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Like if you disagree with anything, and like the Snyder people were similar
Yes.
for a while,
Mhm.
and that's kind of falling off,
Yeah.
especially after I think the Batman kind of like, oh, somebody else can make a good DC movie. I think that's kind of where the decline of the Snyder people
Yeah.
and maybe all this Flash stuff with Ezra Miller and I don't know. But nonetheless, they had that for a little bit. If you
Yeah.
criticized anything, they were after you. But Marvel's gotten to a new level after Phase 4, and I think it's funny that it's now after Phase 4 that they've come out like animals because it's obvious that there's a decline in the content and the value,
Yeah.
and so they know they have to defend it because
Yeah.
it's going down. Now there's still good stuff, and every single movie that comes out, the shows that come out, there's hints of good stuff in it. I won't say Disney knows somewhat of what they're doing. They can do good stuff, but it's starting to become pretty few and far between throughout the movie. Like sneak peek in my thought of this movie, there were some really good elements in the movie, but there was also a lot of shit.
A lot of bad.
And
yeah.
so like you now can't criticize that bad anymore. They just want you to focus on like the 15 minutes of good scenes throughout the movie and not an hour or this was actually well timed. It was a little under 2 hours.
I think it was an hour 59.
It was
Yeah.
so long.
And it was still a
It-
little bit longer than
it-
it should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a moment where they got to a confrontation. I was like, "Is this it? Like, is this the movie?"
Should've
and then
been.
it kept going. I was like, "Oh, okay." Like,
But
all
should have
right.
been.
Yeah. Right.
Needed just a little bit more thriller, I guess. But let's go ahead and go to you for just your general thoughts. I'm kind of helping you out here.
Okay.
So I can
Cool.
click
Cool.
too, but
I've like accidentally clicked 2 buttons.
no, that's okay. So yeah, just your general thoughts on Thor: Love and Thunder.
I remember 4 or 5 years ago when this was announced, like in their whole here's the Phase 4 lineup, and I was like, that's cool. Like it was really just a name. I was like, that's a cool name, and it's got this 80s vibe.
Oh, Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Phase 4.
No,
And I'm
no,
like-
Love and Thunder.
such a
Yeah.
cool
I mean, I
name.
know they came out with that, and they promote like they usually didn't promote the phases before.
Right.
This was the first time they were like, "Look, we have a plan. Look, I know Endgame looks like the end, but this isn't the end. There's
They-
something else."
They should have had that meme where it's like the two wrestlers was the big guy behind the smaller guy that's laughing, and it's like MCU promoting Phase 4 in its entirety, and then the guy behind him being like COVID-19 or something like that. So first off, the one thing I want to say about it that I think is the best, absolute, most wonderful thing is Christian Bale is fantastic.
That's who that is.
He's so good. And I think the reason he's so good in this is because number one, when he was asked about the MCU or the last one he saw, he was like, there's a purple guy trying to get stones. Like he doesn't know what the heck is happening in the Marvel Studios.
Which I will defend him here. It's not an actor's job to go through and watch every move. Like,
right.
I can understand the viewpoint of like, well, you wanted to understand the world, but I mean, he has a script and he just needs to play the role that he's asked.
Yes.
And I'm totally cool with. I think Miss Marvel is a huge Marvel fan, and like I understand there's like an extra like bit of you that wants you to root for that character because like the actor is in love with it just as much as you are. And just like for me with Star Wars, I love when my actors are in love with Star Wars. Like Pedro Pascal being the Mandalorian is amazing because he's such a big Star Wars fan and he gets to and same with Obi-Wan and Hayden. They're both in love with their characters and their stories, so seeing them play it is really cool. But that's not a necessity.
Right.
It's totally fine if an actor doesn't know everything about the universe. Christian Bale is a phenomenal actor, and he's been that for a long time. He doesn't need that much.
Right.
He doesn't need to watch all these other properties before, all these other movies before.
Right.
Because I know there are a couple people going after him, being like, how do you...
Really?
Well, just like, how do you get into a project and the only thing you know about the whole entire universe is that you watch a movie with a purple guy in it?
Oh, shut up.
And that's all I'm saying. I'm trying to defend, like...
Yeah.
Who's the purple guy?
Thanos.
Oh, right.
Don't worry, Tristan knows Thanos.
Right.
Yeah, he snaps his fingers and they disappear.
Spoiler.
Oh.
No, I'm just...
From 7 years ago. Or whatever it came out of.
I know.
But the second thing is I think because of that, because he's such a good actor and because he's not invested in this series, he like puts his whole being into this character.
He's just acting.
He does that, and he does it so well. And I did a Snapchat like story after. I was like, if you liked him in this, you need to go watch American Psycho. Because well, because that's like it's the same creepy factor. It's just, all that stuff is him in this, and so you owe it to yourself to go watch a much better movie after watching.
Oh yeah,
this.
American Psycho is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think I responded to that saying, "Go watch The Prestige too." It's
Yes,
not
you
the
did.
same character at all.
Yeah.
It's just he's
He's
fantastic.
good,
in it. And you also have like peak Hugh Jackman in that too. So,
Right. Yeah.
He talked way too much with his mouth though. It was
Talk
hard.
with his mouth was
just like
He's over in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I came here to destroy you.
He has a weird mouth in the first
Yeah.
place.
And like he was definitely using his like
And he's Welsh.
they purposely made his teeth like scary and stuff, so I think that was kind of the purpose. Like, he had
Yeah.
spiked teeth and
Yeah.
like they were so I get why they did it, but it was it was just so abnormal, and sometimes it was great, and then other times you're like, okay, we get it. He's got spiked teeth and black goo in his mouth. We get it.
Please.
We got to the end, and it was a close up of his face, and he was talking, and I saw his mouth like rest for a second, open, and I'm like, I know that mouth. I know that.
I know that overbite.
Excuse me.
Okay, not like that. Just the way their mouth moves when they talk. It's not weird.
No, you do notice that for some reason.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm curious how much of that had to do with prosthetics, because he was in the chair for like 4 hours every day to get into that makeup.
That makes sense. And they had to have had some, unless it was just CGI. The teeth, like I don't know if I assume they had some sort of.
Yeah, I think when he moved, that's where the CG was in place. Speaking of the CG, it is not great. I don't dig the whole
Well,
all this new stuff is not great.
So it's kind of funny. Well, first of all, it's not as bad as what was initially leaked. Like, what was leaked about it was that it was like atrociously bad. And it's not
Yeah.
atrociously bad. It's just noticeable and pretty rough in some areas.
Yeah.
Most notably in the shadow realm when they're being like when they're wrapped up or whatever. I won't spoil too much, but
Yeah.
there's shadows. I mean,
Oh,
if you
yes,
watch the
yeah.
movie, there's shadows.
Yeah.
And there's something in there that like it looks like PS2 graphic
Yeah.
stuff, and it was really weird. But I think it's just people knowing that like everything is CGI, that they're just looking all the time.
Yeah.
And like that sucks. Like just use some practical effects. Like you can use people can be in a suit.
Yeah.
That's fine. People can have a helmet. That's fine. Like the fact that all that's CGI is ridiculous.
right.
So
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Like
there's
the armor, the extra stuff.
like Thor and Natalie Portman's armor and their helmets are all CGI.
They're not really wearing those in
I
in
They're
real
wearing
life?
some-
I think the harness, like the chest pieces that they wear.
That's
They're,
lame.
they're wearing a thing,
Yeah.
and then they CGI a suit on it.
Capes are often CGI.
Yeah. You want to know the worst thing?
What?
This isn't about this movie. This is just about Marvel in general. But Multiverse of Madness. The I don't know his name because I don't read the comics. But the guy that shouts, he can kill people just with his words. He has to
Oh,
be
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt.
Yeah.
I almost said Black Adam. I was like, no, it's the Rock movie.
Yeah.
Black Bolt. His whole suit was CGI. He was wearing a green screen.
Oh. Yeah. Weird.
So like that's what they've gone to. They've just gone to. I'm like, we're not gonna have anybody, because I saw a joke about it. Like, and it was a picture of him in a green suit, and it was like, imagine getting a superhero role, and you show up to set thinking you're gonna
Yeah.
get to wear this, like you're
Yeah.
gonna be a superhero. You get to wear, and you put on a green screen suit,
Yeah.
and that's what you act in for the next 6 months.
Right.
That's so sad.
Yeah. Like I get it for like some things, like if you're a video game design, like
Yeah.
you're going to be wearing this dot suit with 185.
Good old mocap.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you're you're on screen, you want to be wearing the clothes. of your
Yeah,
characters. And I also feel like they would help you get immersed, but
Well, that's also like
Who
the
cares?
Superman test. When they cast people to play Superman, they have to wear the original Superman suit
yeah.
and see if they look good in it.
Is that why they didn't have Nick Cage as
Yeah.
Superman? Have you seen that, Tristan?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage is a huge Superman fan.
Well, not just that.
And he wanted to be, he wanted to be Superman.
He had gotten like, not for the Zack Snyder one, but for an earlier
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
He tried out, like he auditioned to be Superman. He wore the suit. He had long hair at the time. It's a really funny picture. if you movie fans haven't seen it, go look at it. It's
Right.
so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, you got more general thoughts?
The only last thing I had really was I really like Christian Bale. I really like Michael Giacchino does the score again because he's all over the place now. Good for him, getting a lot of work. But I really like the score. I am getting tired
The
of
soundtracks?
the 80s because they use these like intense nostalgic guitar riffs to like make you feel something, and they use them at the weirdest times. Like,
I don't think it's the weirdest time. I think it's just an overdone time.
yeah.
Like you know exactly when it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and when it does, it was the same thing in Ragnarok. Like everything kind of goes slow motion for a second, and like the action ramps up, and yeah, I'm like, just make it.
Maybe Taika Waititi is maybe he's taken too much from Zack Snyder's, and he uses slow-mo shots quite a bit.
Quite a bit, yeah.
He just decides to make them like joke moments
Right.
and like that kind of stuff instead of like Zack Snyder's of like epic fighting,
Right.
and like serious stuff. And
Yeah.
then Taika is like doing like a funny, but it's always like it's still action, but it's like always it's almost like a joke fight.
Right.
Like
yeah.
it's not a joke fight. Sometimes it's a very serious moment, but we still gotta have this. As
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I agree. It's just getting between Guardians of the Galaxy and now Thor.
That's what it is, man. You hit it on the nail, or like you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Last time we talked about it, where it was like they figured it out in Guardians of the Galaxy. They said, here's our formula, and that's just what they've stuck with ever since.
I feel like that was the shift.
Yeah.
All right, Tristan, what are your general thoughts?
I thought it was too long, and I thought that the funniness that you're talking about,
Yeah.
and the scary creepiness of the guy.
Yeah.
I'm just like, where are you going?
It
Are you trying to be scary?
It didn't mix well.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was like a bright rainbow sometimes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you're
It
in
didn't.
shadows.
It didn't tonally make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not totally. Tonally. Yeah. I totally agree with that. Yeah. It's just hard. Like there are times where it works to go from really dark
Yeah.
scenes to go to a visually bright scene. This movie just did it a lot, and like I think that's kind of just a problem with like Christian Bale stuff being so good and being serious and having like depth to it, and then you're going to like stupid shit.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying stupid shit as in bad.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's just it's
That's-
lighthearted. It's
yeah.
stupid. It's quote unquote funny. I mean, you can
Yeah.
like some people it's gonna
Oh,
land
the
with,
guy
some people
next to
it's
me
not.
was cracking
Oh,
up.
It was yeah.
He thought
I
it
heard
was
him two people over.
hilarious.
He thought it was the funniest movie in the world.
Oh, my goodness.
Art theater was pretty. They were pretty on par with the comedy, which is
If
fine.
that's your thing, that's your thing. But I was like,
But go watch better comedies.
yeah, but
hey,
I'm just
look,
saying
if
like
you want to watch that movie, go for it.
I was just saying that they're like 70% of this movie is dumb. What a lot of
Yeah.
people have been saying online: turn your brain off and just enjoy it.
which
of
is
stuff.
which is really funny
Yeah,
because they went from raging against Scorsese, being like, this marvelous film and it's cinema and it's blah blah blah, and Scorsese is the worst, and now they're like, no man, Marvel's just, you go turn your brain off and you just enjoy what it is and you have fun with it, and that's all. Like, pick a side, my man.
Oh yeah.
Like, figure it out. Are we supposed to take this as real cinema, or are we supposed to take this as like a roller coaster ride? Because if it's the second one, you owe an apologies to Martin Scorsese.
Or are we supposed to take this as a dumb comedy? Like that's almost what these are feeling like, or like a spoof dumb comedy.
Yeah.
Which are fine. Those are fine movies. I love
Yeah.
stupid comedies. Napoleon Dynamite, Elf,
Superbad.
Superbad,
Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre. We just watched Juno. Well, that's not stupid comedy. Grandma's Boy. Like those
Yeah.
are fine. Those are good movies. I love watching them.
Yeah.
And more importantly, they're rewatchable as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like those are not Martin Scorsese
Yeah.
cinema stuff. And you're
Right.
trying to put yourself in this category of cinema, and then you're putting out whatever. And like if this movie was tonally what the Christian Bale arc was, you might have had it.
Yeah.
You might have missed. I don't know. And maybe that's why they like half did it and then pulled out quite a bit, because they were like, this is a stretch. We don't know if this is going to work with our audience because they're all idiots. So maybe that's why they pulled out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Because there was like, I thought the Christian Bale stuff was all like right off the bat. You start with a dark
Yeah.
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
And then
I think Trent got really confused.
he did. Yeah. Yeah. We watched it with Trent. That's Tristan's and Trevor's brother
Yeah.
who has level 3 autism.
Yeah.
And so he loves kids movies.
Right. Oh, by the way, this is 110% a kids movie.
Yeah.
And I'll fight anybody on that.
Yeah. No, we can talk about that later. Yeah. But usually, like, he watched Jurassic Park with us, I think, or Jurassic World Dominion. And, like, he likes those movies, but it's usually, like, lighthearted action or, like, straight-up kids movies.
Yeah,
But
like-
this movie starts out
Yeah.
pretty dark. And, like, I liked it. I didn't know where it was going.
I didn't either.
But I liked it quite a bit. But I didn't like the scene that goes right after the dark part. But nonetheless,
yeah.
I think it's just weird how it like it didn't work. Going back and forth from this lightheartedness to this like
Yeah.
really serious, well thought out, deep storyline
And like,
that has kind of a resolution that you're okay with, but also a little
Not me. I
Okay.
hated it. I didn't hate it, but I was like,
That's why I said
Sad.
I was kind of okay with it, but I was also pretty upset with like I was very torn
Yeah.
with like I'm not mad, but this is also not good.
Yeah.
And also just how it happened. So I won't spoil anything there. I'm just saying like the way that arc finishes is it really just rips you in two parts. I think a lot of people are going to like it because it's quote unquote good.
Yeah.
But yeah. You have anything else when it comes to
One
thoughts?
more thing that I think.
Yeah.
Immediately. There's a part toward the beginning where they play that song. Who can say with it?
Yeah. Dumb.
And I just immediately thought of TikTok, and I'm like, I don't come to a movie to listen to a TikTok song.
Yeah. That's
That
fair.
really annoyed me. I'm like, you're just gonna grab whatever is famous right now and put it in a movie?
Yes.
Well, the only I agree, but I also wonder like this movie has been in production for
I know,
maybe
but that
3
was a
years.
while ago that it was made. Regardless, I didn't like it.
Yeah, no, I didn't either.
Yeah.
I just hate how like we've talked already. The
Yeah.
soundtracks have become a little cheesy in how they're used, and I thought that was really cheesy how that
Yeah.
was used. Really, the first after we get past the first scene, that second sequence is cheesy as fuck.
Is that where the storytelling thing?
No, it's just the Guardians of the Galaxy bit.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
I
Agreed.
hated all of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Same.
So I just want to be a little defendant. Like,
Yeah, no, I mean,
Imagine
that
if-
makes sense.
imagine if you write and you make a film and it's already in
Yeah.
there, and then a random TikTok just
Yeah.
blows up and a trend is on a song that you made. You'd be like, what the? Now
Yeah.
everyone's going to think, but I wrote, like, this has been in this scene for a year now.
Yeah.
And my movie's coming out in 3 weeks, and a trend just hit of this song. I didn't add the song 3 weeks ago.
No, that makes sense.
No, I don't know. Like, maybe they did. Like, hey, this song is trending.
I would absolutely not put it past them.
No,
if they did.
but I also feel like you'd be pretty dumb to
They-
do that.
They should have done the TikTok remix of it, where they're like,
Oh, I thought that was coming.
"Shake that fucking."
Yeah. I was expecting it to happen because they were fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if this goes
Oh, it would have been
to
great.
that-
I would have loved that.
No, I would have been so
Two different
mad.
views there.
Ugh. And then they didn't, and I'm like, okay, it's a full song, which makes it a little better, but
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have to contribute right now.
That's okay. Yeah, well, my general thoughts are basically it's really cheesy. It's really Marvel. There are some I do think there is some really good stuff, but I think a majority of it is pretty rough, and I don't. Yeah, I just feel like that's the best way to
Yeah.
summarize it as like you just get your basic Marvel stuff for a majority of the film, and every once in a while it breaks past that level and you get something real. And honestly, Marvel decides to ruin it with a random one-liner that shouldn't be there, but I get they're trying to be funny. Yeah, I didn't hate my experience. Multiverse of Madness, I was pretty repulsed in the theater. I wasn't that. There were times where I was like, what are we doing? Why is this happening? But for the most part, like, it was kind of I almost equated this movie to like a Fast and Furious movie. That's kind of where I was.
I'm
Like-
offended.
I know, but I like the Fast and Furious movies because they're just dumb fun.
Yeah.
And that's what this felt like for a lot. Like, it did feel like turn your brain off, kind of just enjoy it. But I had to you do have to turn your brain off to enjoy any kind of bit of this because there are a lot of stupid plot points that happen. But
And
like-
plot holes.
yeah, we'll talk about a not a plot hole, quote unquote, but a direction that Marvel is going that I deeply, deeply, deeply hate. But nonetheless, I don't know. That's just what I was thinking internally when I was kind of watching the movie. I'm like, now it's not the same as Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious is a little bit more serious in action
and better.
and it's better. Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll agree.
Thank you.
I like Fast and Furious a lot.
I'm
but
open
it's-
for dinosaurs.
And this tries to just be funny, but it's stupid. It's stupid, which is the same thing that like Fast and Furious has. But this tries to go like stupid, funny, and action, and the other one goes like over the top action and stupid. So, anyways, yeah, that's kind of my general thoughts. It was not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Maybe that's because I went in with a really low expectation, but I definitely was like metaphorically gagging during certain scenes. Yeah, especially at the people that were laughing at some really bad jokes. They were really cracking up. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh.
I know. He was laughing hard.
Yeah, and then at the very end of the movie, for the we only watched one of the after credit scenes because I don't care enough to wait to see if there's one.
I got some thoughts on the second one.
Yeah, I honestly don't care enough to wait anymore.
That's fair.
Like it's
Trent also, before the movie was even over, he said, movie. Like, when is this going to be over?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't care to watch another.
Yeah,
And make him wait for an
and like I don't even want to wait.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys. I don't even
You are
want to wait
so
another.
good looking.
I don't even want to wait another 3.5 minutes to watch a 2-second.
Yeah.
Like I just waiting 45 seconds is fine,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
to make people wait 3, 4, 5 minutes through all the
What's the point?
yeah, it's
And
it's
the
too
point
much.
used to be get a glimpse at what's coming next because we have this well thought out plan.
Right.
Now the point is, look at this fun little joke that we did, or this little stupid whatever. Here's
Well-
characters that you're probably not going to see for another 6 years.
Yeah, and it was also kind of like it also used to be if you're a big Marvel fan, we'll just give you a little teaser of
Like a little bit more.
and
Yeah.
well, like
Like
a
a taste.
and like a little bit of a
Give it a taste.
A little lick.
See what it tastes like.
but also just like a little like here's a little cameo for you that like are really into the comics and like whatever.
Yeah.
And they still are kind of that, but I just don't care enough to wait.
But
They're
those 2-second ones are
they just are
garbage.
they're just dumb now. That's the problem. I feel like they used to be a little bit more well thought out. Now they've just kind of gone dumb.
Yeah.
But at the very end, like that, the only one that we watched, the after credit scene, Tristan turned to me and just had her. We won't say anything yet because we're in spoiler free. But she had her mouth wide open, and I wanted to tell her, "Shut your mouth," because everyone's gonna think you have your mouth wide open because you thought it was so cool, but it's only because of who the actor is.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
catch who it
I know
was.
you haven't seen the show. It's from a show that we
yeah.
know.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like,
Was it
everyone
Ted Lasso?
around us is probably thinking, "Oh, she's so like freaking out about the after credit scene," but in reality, you only care about the fact that the
I
actor.
just love that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you couldn't care if it was literally just a guy murdering 30 babies.
Oh yeah, no.
If it was that actor, you'd be like,
I would have the same
"That
reaction.
actor!" Like, and you would have been excited. So like
Yeah.
they're thinking you're so excited about what's gonna happen
Character,
next.
not the actor.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just like what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, Tristan, close your mouth. Your jaw doesn't need to be on the ground right now. People are thinking you're a stupid Marvel girl.
Ask me how many Marvel things I have. None. Actually, when I was in high school, I had a Marvel Avengers backpack.
You were get out. Avengers backpack.
Avengers a backpack.
Get out of here.
No.
That was back when
It
it
was
was-
good.
that's
That
when
was
it was
when we.
fine.
That was when it
All
like
right,
came
that's fair.
out.
That's fair.
And
back
we
when it was-
saw it a bunch of times.
I
That
let
was
it
back when it
slide
was
this
okay.
one time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's about it for the spoiler-free part of the review. We're going to take it to a short little ad, and then we will be right back for the spoiler part.
We're not
of
going
the
to give
review.
recommendations.
Oh, okay. Recommendations. My bad. Jumping the gun. Trevor, what you got?
I think yes, but I think you need to take your kids. This like
The thing that's weird about the kid thing is like it does get really like
It's-
serious.
Yeah.
yeah.
And a little scary at times.
And yeah.
And it's not like
And,
But
like,
that last
gross.
the last 20 minutes, I'm like 110%. This is
Oh,
made
yeah.
for children.
oh yeah, that's why I said I was waiting on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it feels weird to recommend it for kids because like there is really creepy stuff that happens and
Yeah.
like
Go.
Christian Bale's character is like
He's
He is
legitimately
scary.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a nightmare. So
Yeah. That's a good way.
Tristan, recommend it? Do
Recommendate.
you recommend it?
No.
Oh.
No.
No.
I think this is my normal Marvel recommendation. If you like Marvel movies, go watch it. You're probably gonna like it because you suck. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
You're great.
Yeah, you are great.
To be fair, a friend of mine who is been a big Marvel stan all her life, she saw this and Multiverse, and she has been rating them low on Letterboxd. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And the last she posted her story, she was like, maybe I don't like Marvel movies anymore. I was like, oh, good, you're coming around. Good to see.
Sometimes it takes a while to realize that the thing you love is slowly deteriorating. I'm not talking about you.
Okay, good.
How about Star Wars?
I'm talking.
Oh, that's sad.
I don't know what he said. Maybe I'm glad for it.
Easton.
So, well, I already said, I think I recommend it if you're a Marvel fan. If you're not, I mean, it's probably a fine summer flick, but there's also so many movies right now. Go watch Top Gun Maverick over this. It's still in theaters. It's still raging. It's still going crazy. Go watch it. Tristan, what?
Also, as someone, okay, if you aren't super into Marvel and you see some, you don't see some, blah, 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 your name's Tristan, go on. I just didn't care enough about the characters, unfortunately. I didn't care enough about the characters to be invested.
No, that's real, though. Natalie Portman looks like she would rather be doing anything else for a lot of this movie.
I'm like, I'm just not, I don't know everything about them. And I don't, honestly, with my brain, I don't think I will ever know everything about them, even if I tried.
I mean, don't try. It's okay.
Yeah, please,
But I'm saying, like,
it's too much useless information.
I'm not going to.
I know what you mean.
Thank you.
I get it.
So that's why I don't recommend it, because, yeah. There you go.
Where did I go?
Over there.
Well, Gorg is still funny, though. I'll die on that.
Who's
Korg?
that?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Who's
You
that?
like the right guy.
No, I
We've already
don't.
gone over that. I actually like him.
He has a high voice.
That's Taika Waititi.
No.
This is like the third week in a row where we've been like, Tristan, that's this person. And you're like, what? That's crazy.
The second one in this episode. Because she didn't know Christian
that's
Bale
right,
was
yeah.
was the God Butcher.
I
Okay.
love Taika Waititi.
I know you do. Okay, well now it is the time to go to our ad, and then we will be right back for the spoiler part of the review. Sponsor of today's episode is Newsly. For the first time ever, the entire web becomes listenable all in one place. Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up the most trending articles on the web and topics you choose at any given moment and reads them to you in a nice voice. You can browse articles from topics you choose and start playing, so you can stop scrolling and start listening. You can follow any topics like sports, tech, business, science, Bitcoin, or even the Kardashians. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you out loud. And they have podcasts as well, exploring trending podcasts from over 80 countries. Our podcast, The Movie Moron, is there too. I started using it as my default podcast app lately, and they even have digital radio. Download and use Newsly for free now at www.newsly.me or from the link in the description, and use promo code THEMM that I will also put in the description and receive a 1 month free premium subscription service. So download the Newsly app now. All right, and we are back.
We're back.
After that short little ad, and now we're going into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie and you care, I would go ahead and pause it. But going off of the art theater, I think everyone in the world has seen this movie.
Yeah, right.
Because there were roughly 3,000 showings of this movie this weekend, and every single one of them was sold out.
Yep.
We went into the theater at 3:30, and there was a post-it, like there was a sign on the door saying, Thor Love and Thunder is sold out today. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Jeez.
At 3:30, there was still
Yeah.
another 30 showings of that movie between Dolby, normal, and 3D. Maybe not 30, but a lot. Like at least 15 to 20. So yeah, you've probably already seen it, so you can go ahead and listen to the full episode. But if you haven't, this is the time to pause because we will talk about spoilers. So
we will rip into it. I mean, talk about spoilers.
yeah. Well, what we were alluding to already was the kids in this movie. The overwhelming amount of kids and the action kids at the end sequence that made this a kids movie.
Yep.
that was overly ridiculous.
Very ridiculous.
Overly ridiculous.
Yes.
You can't kill. Well, can? Okay, it's video games. You can't kill a kid, but in movies you can.
Yeah. Well,
But they decide not to in this movie. They just make them all
Yeah,
gods.
I was like, if can they die?
They should have.
yeah, because even when there were only 4 or 5 of those shadow monsters, even though they were
Yeah.
much bigger, Valkyrie and Lady Thor and Thor all had a horrible time keeping up
Yeah.
with all of them. And now you have these kids facing a dozen and a half, and they are
There were like 50 to 70.
that many?
Yeah, because
Oh.
when you see the shot when
I
they're
guess
all like running up,
yeah.
there's like
You do see a ton, like the whole
There's a
floor is
ton.
moving. Yeah.
there's a ton, and they're
Yeah.
fighting for like 5 minutes,
A
and they're
long
killing
time.
5 to 6 within the span of 2
That's
seconds.
fair. Yeah.
Like literally, just anytime they swing, they're killing one.
Or killing something.
Yeah.
Which I guess I guess Thor was able to give them that power because that's the power of the lightning bolt, which is its own can of worms that I don't particularly care for.
We'll get into the gods stuff. that
yeah. But I
that-
guess that's how he could do it was
I think he can already like grant power. He's
Mhm.
always been able to do that.
okay.
But I think him having the lightning bolt
Because
is
everything was yellow.
Yeah, I'm saying that gave him extra power because a lot of these gods apparently their power comes through the
whatever their weapon is.
the blacksmith.
Their
The
arcane focus for your UD&D
well,
fans.
it comes from Peter Dinklage, the giant,
Oh yeah, the Warforged or
yeah.
the Starforged.
Yeah. and so all those weapons I think come from him.
Yeah.
And well, not anymore because he's dead, but I think they came from him, and that's what grants they already have power.
Yeah.
but that's what gets to harness and whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's very much kids rally and kids save the day,
Kid
and you can
empowerment.
be a hero too. And especially not to, I mean, I know we're jumping to the ending right away, but and then again when he takes on Gore's daughter at the end, and they're like, and they were forever known as Love and Thunder.
I thought that
like,
was the dumbest way to name the movie.
okay, whatever, yeah,
I wonder if they if that wasn't the purpose, but they could never find a real reason of why they called it Love and Thunder.
yeah.
And so well,
I assumed it was because Jane Foster is back, and that's why they called it that. But
it should have been,
it should have been, yeah,
but I think they probably just this never felt right to say
right.
Love and Thunder here.
TBH, I thought Tessa Thompson and Natalie Portman had a way better chemistry than Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth did.
You were also there also wasn't supposed to be good chemistry. They were supposed to be awkward.
It just seems so stale, though.
Yeah.
And when they interact and they do the little the "My Love Don't Cost a Thing" song, and they're vibing for a second. I was like, I really like this. I would much have rather seen more Valkyrie and Jane Foster stuff than see all the almost not forced romance, but anytime they were on screen
Yeah, I
together,
know
I
what
was
you
like, this is not great.
For me, Jane just felt awkward in the movie in general.
Yeah.
Her being Thor doesn't really I know Jane has been Thor in comic books.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel it felt really weird.
It felt like Natalie Portman didn't want to be there.
Maybe, but that paycheck be good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just,
she got paid out the butt
Yeah.
for this movie.
yeah, and I'm sure all of you film people already know, but for those of you that didn't, Taika Waititi is doing a. I'll never be able to get it. He's doing a Star Wars trilogy.
This
And
is so great.
you're laughing at that, not me trying to say Taika
no, I
Waititi.
You
know
said
it's
it
good,
right.
Oh, good.
Taika
I thought
Waititi,
he was
yeah.
laughing at me making, but
No,
Yeah,
I know
so-
the story you're about to tell.
yeah, he's making a Star Wars trilogy, and he wanted Natalie Portman to play to be a character in his Star Wars trilogy, not knowing that Natalie Portman is Padme Amidala in the original 3.
Is that real?
Yeah,
Taika.
Taika Waititi is too busy having a three-way with Florence Pugh and whatever.
No,
Right.
is that real?
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Florence Pugh and
Oh, some other hot actress.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah. We love her, but
We love
she showed
her.
some titties on the red carpet the other
She
day.
did. It was
On
at
purpose.
New York Fashion Week.
Yeah.
New York
It was on
Fashion
purpose.
Show.
It wasn't a nit slit. She.
I-
it doesn't matter.
I think it's funny though that like not only did he ask to like do not just ask to be a character, not only is she just like some random Star Wars character, she's Padme Amidala. Like
And we've talked about how Natalie Portman was not necessarily the best in this movie.
Yeah.
And this is what made him want to use Natalie Portman.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just felt off. Like, I didn't hate her character altogether. I didn't hate Lady Thor. It just, I think it was mainly, I didn't think it was really Natalie Portman's fault. I thought most of it was writing and just how she's been non-existent
Yeah.
for 10 years in the trilogy. And, like, they even, like, give you backstory of, like, what happened between them on why she's not there.
Which is so weak.
Yeah. It's understandable and relatable, but it's also really bad for pacing and really awkward and like doesn't fit. Like, why is Chris Hemsworth not Chris? Why is Thor like why is he trying to be a normal New Yorker?
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah.
it just does not make like none of that's weird.
yeah.
Well, like Thor being Thor is not weird,
Yeah.
and you just, like it decided to show like him just, oh, I'm just going on dates. Like even at the beginning before they break up, like they have him like sitting on the couch doing weird things,
Mhm.
going to Halloween parties. It's like I don't think that's what he's doing on his off time.
Right.
Like it just didn't. It felt way too awkward and like forced to be like this is why they broke up,
yeah.
and like but they can't be on bad terms.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he didn't sleep with Miss Marvel or, yeah.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah. I was
It's
gonna
like
say
Miss
isn't
Marvel's
Marvel
like
a
17.
child?
Yeah. Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't. Do you guys have anything else on that or? Okay, I want to talk about my biggest problem is the gods.
Mhm.
Is that I think that's a terrible plot point in an awful direction for Marvel to go into. There was always a hint of the gods.
real quick, who is Hercules?
Roy Kent.
Roy Kent from Ted Lasso.
Oh,
He's
I
one of the
figured it
main
was somebody from
characters in
Ted
Ted
Lasso,
Lasso.
yeah.
Is
I thought you were
angry
saying who's
all
the Greek,
time.
like who's the Greek mythology person?
I thought so
Hercules.
too.
Oh no, the actor.
Yeah, the actor.
Anyway,
And
sorry.
we were
continue.
Roy
both-
Kent.
We were both like, what? Because
Football
he's
player.
like he's a nobody. I mean,
Yeah.
not to be mad, not to demean Roy Kent, the actor of Roy Kent,
Do
but
it.
like
Yeah.
he's just an underground. Like that's the only thing he's ever been in.
Yeah.
like
But
big.
he did win an whatever those awards are called.
Golden Globe or something.
Yeah,
The TV show ones.
yeah, not a Golden Globe. The
Emmy?
Emmy.
Emmy? He won an Emmy award.
No, Emmys is music. No.
Grammy is music.
Yeah, so it is Emmys. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
um,
like best male supporting
yeah.
actor or something.
Good job, movie podcast. We know all the award shows. But yeah, it's just out of left field that he goes straight from Ted Lasso in his first movie.
I mean, good for him.
And I mean, as you've said, he may not be in any movie.
Yeah.
Because they
They've
have a
already
bad
teased-
job of following through with their teasers.
Yeah.
But the whole like Olympus and I didn't mind the god stuff at the beginning.
Please, Easton, not Olympus. The omnipotentity. Yeah, what a mouthful.
I didn't mind the god killer was great.
Yeah.
That was fine. But then it just led us down this rabbit hole of going to like, okay, like Thor is obviously in mythology as being a god,
Yeah.
and so is Odin,
Mm.
and so like, but it's all this like Viking god stuff,
Yeah.
and there's just like, but it's also not like Viking gods. Like these
Yeah.
these are people on a different planet. This isn't what the Vikings worshipped. This is
Yeah.
just like we're taking those people and we're making them their own civilization in a different world.
Yeah.
And then now it's all of Greek mythology is just opened up, and they are these gods, and they are because they tally their wins by sacrifices and stuff.
Mhm.
Like, so it's
Yeah.
Yeah, they started talking about Valhalla, and I was like, wait a second. That's for what's his name? What's that guy's name? On
Ragnar.
Vikings. Ragnar. Yes.
That's just Vikings in general. They all wanted to die in combat for.
No,
And
I
that's
know
been
that.
That's
but-
been a theme in Thor in general, though.
Yeah.
well. Shall I tell him I'm
Because-
trying? No.
Well, because they're like that, the Thor movies and that
But
whole,
that did confuse me because Valhalla to me is for Vikings. Viking gods. Viking people.
it's for Viking people. Yeah,
Viking religion.
yeah. Just assume everything you know about Vikings and their religion. That's what Asgard
But
and those people are.
see, but then they're Greek mythology people.
Yeah.
So
is
that
what I'm
doesn't make
saying-
any sense
which is
to me.
What I'm saying I don't like.
Yes.
They're saying that all of
I'm
these.
saying I agree.
I'm saying they are canonically saying that all gods that humanity has worshipped are all real in the MCU, and they all have powers, and they all do wherever they are in the universe. They're somewhere, and they are real, and they've done something, and like they're just opening way too much. Now it just feels like, especially with the last bit that we got, we're moving to now gods versus superheroes. And I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it'll go there, but I think that's dumb. And I think opening that horse in general, or opening that bag of worms or whatever, yeah, it's just it's just not good.
To be fair, like, to play devil's advocate a little bit, that's
How dare you?
I know that's not uncommon. Like DC does that, Marvel is like that is a comic book thing. Like all the pantheon of gods from mythology and stuff are all
Good to know they're all unoriginal.
I've
Yeah.
also come to, I think this is what I just decided, that they need to keep the comic books and the movies separate, because you can make a gazillion comic books, a vajillion of them.
I just had an argument with not an argument, but I just talked with somebody about that on Twitter today.
Really?
Yeah, we were talking about Batman,
Yeah.
and I was
Talking to
like,
Lester.
yeah, and I was like, okay, like if you're looking at just movies for Batman and comics are out, like you can only relate it to the movies, and that's it, because there's nothing like you're
and it's-
eliminating the source material.
Also, it's like, if you want the comics, just go read, the comics.
Yeah.
When you're watching a movie, you should want a good film. And obviously, you can take things from the source material, take
Yeah.
things from the comics that translate well into film, and write good stories with those characters, because they're great stories and they're great characters. But you can't just do a direct,
And also not
Yeah.
this is
everything
what's in
in-
a comic, and just plop it in a film, because the pacing isn't going to be right, the action
Well,
isn't going to
and
be right,
it's
the
just-
dialogue isn't going to be as like, it just doesn't translate as well. You have to do something different. Take the main plot, take the main story, plug it into a movie, and make a good film. So I totally agree with both of you guys.
It's too much. There's just too much. I
especially
feel like-
now, if you're 27, almost 30 movies in, you can't like.
That's like for me, I just feel like I'm a lost cause now, because there's no way I'm not gonna go back and watch them, first of all.
Yeah.
But for
20
somebody who's like kids, think about kids in elementary school, who weren't alive when Avengers came out, like I was, and saw it. When they grow up, they're like watching these movies. I can't even imagine trying to comprehend all of these movies.
Oh yeah. Well, what's going to end up happening is going to be the same thing that happens in comic books. There's going to be a retcon where they're going to say nothing matters. Everything that has happened before in the MCU out the window. Doesn't matter anymore. We're starting fresh, and that's what's going to happen. Maybe not soon, but down the road, absolutely. Especially with the way Phase 4 is going, I have a feeling that within the next like 10 to 20 years, they'll be like starting over. New Iron Man, new Captain America, new stuff.
Yeah, they're 100% going to do that at some point. But I like where your headspace is at, Tristan, because I think we're getting to the point where these movies can't really be for teenagers anymore.
Yeah.
You tell me one teenager that's going to watch 30 movies before he watches a new one.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you one. Yeah. It's hard pressed to get teenagers or young people in general to watch Lord of the Rings, the original Star Wars movies, Harry Potter, like anything that's more than just watch this one movie. Even that's hard. So just to get people to watch 30 movies to go watch the new one that you come pumping out.
And they're not going to be as excited for the new one because they don't know anything about. If they haven't watched them, what's the point if you don't know anything before this movie?
Yeah.
And that also makes it so much worse because they're making these movies for kids.
Yeah.
Like, that's not your demographic anymore. Your demographic is 20 to 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because that's who started watching your movies when they were either 10 to 20 or like that. Like when Iron Man came out, the people that loved that movie were either a young teen up to like mid-20s.
Yeah, man, I think I was 13 or 14 when the first Iron Man came out.
Yeah.
Or
2008?
I would have been 13 when it came out.
Yeah. And I don't think I watched it like the year it came out.
Yeah.
I watched it a couple years later. I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is dope.
Yeah.
And then started watching them after that.
Yeah.
But it's easier to do that with 1 or 2 movies, not 27.
Yeah.
So, they're they're not hurting right now because, like I said, every single movie theater across the nation is sold out.
Right.
Well, and like, man, and it's these people that when they go in, it's people that don't go to the movie theater very often, so they are making an event out of it, which is where that term event movie comes from. But like every single person in my showing had popcorn, sodas, ices, like they were buying it up. To kind of get back to your original comment about like the whole God thing heading that way, like gore in this movie is 100% correct. Like, get rid of them. Get rid of all, because they're all horrible.
The
like,
gods?
Yeah. But the sun god guy that is in the beginning, who's like, when you die, it's just nothing. You die for me.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And you're just gone.
I didn't blame him for killing him.
Absolutely. But then, so the second, what I was going to say, the second credit scene, you guys, that you guys
we
missed?
dipped on.
Yeah. It's Jane Foster getting into Valhalla, who, number one, didn't die during battle, where Thor explicitly tells Civ, he's like, well, you're not technically in battle, so like you can't get into Valhalla.
That's
now.
also dumb in general.
Right.
But I also think that's Thor not being smart.
So
I mean, I don't know my Norse history perfectly, but I think if you get stabbed and you die in the battlefield, but just the next day because you woke up and then you bled out and died, I think you still died in battle.
And that's what I was thinking too. But even still, like that's not what we have as canon now because that hasn't been explained to us that way.
Right.
But she timed all. But I was like, man, and then all the gods in the big god city are terrible. They're all horrible. And at the end of it,
I don't know, man. Dumpling God was pretty fucking dope.
Get out of here. But when Jane meets Heimdall and he's like, welcome to Valhalla, the land of the god, or something like that. I was like, the gods get to enjoy this great afterlife in this like perfect utopia where when humans die, they just go to nothing. Like, that's horrible. And Gore is absolutely correct. Like, he should, and listen, my man, good on you for like giving your child a life. You should let her be dead. Kill them all. Like,
well, he was also told there was nothing after. So
I mean, I guess that's fair, but like, she's already been dead. Like, get your revenge, my man. That's another thing. I didn't think about this, but like Marvel movies, another trope I'm seeing now is like, turn away from your evil doings and turn to the good side. And that's, I mean, at this point in time,
you know what happened?
What?
They're just stealing from Star Wars.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, at one point in time, that was like, okay. And with Star Wars, there's so much more like backstory to that in terms of like internal conflict. But with this, it's like he's so determined to do everything he possibly can to do this, until the very last minute. And then he's like, I'm going to throw everything out the window.
I think, now, obviously, this isn't 100% because of Thanos, but it seems to be like a major Phase 4 theme. And I think they're just scared to write people just actually being bad and like always doing like bad things.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because the last few that we've gotten, all of them have turned good in the end.
Multiverse, Shang-Chi, Eternals to an extent. Yeah, that's absolutely
so that's
correct.
4 in a row. Now Black Widow might be the only one.
It's a prequel though.
Yeah.
I liked Black Widow.
Yeah, I did too. Thought it was stupid fun.
I stand by my statement.
We're gonna fight because Trevor's staring down Tristan.
Put up them fisticuffs.
Yeah, I think maybe they might be just scared to.
They are. They're scared. They don't take risks. Man, Marvel and Stranger Things are letting me down. Don't take risks. Don't kill off main characters. Get it together. Make good stuff.
Don't spoil Stranger Things. We haven't watched it.
If you don't binge Stranger Things the second it comes out, then what are you doing with them? I'm kidding.
Living life.
What was your two? You had 2 points there. What was the first point?
Gore was right.
Because I had something from that, and oh, okay, yeah. Another thing that annoyed me about all of this expansion of gods in the MCU, it is a underlining tone of like anti-religiousness, and I very much dislike that in general.
Yeah.
I don't mind it in like
Who was this? Kurt Russell?
no, he's Russell Crowe,
Russell
Yes,
Crowe.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
who's been Zeus in 2 different
Because
universes.
Kurt Russell is Ego, the Living Planet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, from Guardians 2.
Yes, you were correct. I just from like the start, right when Gorg, is that his name?
Gore.
Gore?
Like,
Okay.
like getting gored with
Okay.
like getting gored with something.
When Gore is like talking to his worshipped god, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you just worship me to die. There's nothing after this." Blah blah blah. That right there was already like, this feels like anti-Christianity, but it's like, well, if we expand it out, and then they expanded it out, and it's like there's all these gods, and like all of them are bad people or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so it's not specifically anti-Christianity, but it's also just shitting on religion
in general.
all the way across.
Yeah.
Like, you can't look at this and be like, this is looking at Christianity in a positive light at all. And I don't know if that's Taika or if that's Marvel, but like, I think that's pretty fucked up to just have a underlining theme of just, oh yeah, you believe in a god or gods or anything are for you at all. No, they're just taking advantage of you and murdering you for their own personal, like, that was the tone. That was the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
And I very much dislike that. And I don't know if it was not personal.
If it was targeted,
No.
it was
It's a P word that I can't.
purposeful.
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're
I don't know if
welcome.
it was purposeful or if it was an accident of just writing the story.
Yeah.
But just going along with kind of Disney in general, I wouldn't put it outside of their realm to like, oh yeah, let's just go ahead and shit on all religion in this movie.
Yeah.
And just, but it's undertone. It's not like nobody's saying it,
Yeah.
but we also kind of are, because somebody literally says, oh no, there's nothing after this. You'll die and there's nothing.
Yeah.
You worshipped me for no reason.
Yeah. There's also
Which made me very much like the fact that he killed him, but
Yeah.
also like that's a very in a movie like this, I don't like it.
Yeah.
If it was a more like realistic, personal, or like somebody's struggling with the idea of
Like,
an afterlife,
Right.
that's something cool. But not
Sunset
this.
Limited with it's I can't remember who's in it. It's Tommy Lee Jones and I think Morgan Freeman, but they do a very good job about discussing that kind of stuff. But
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's just 2 guys in a room and they're just talking the whole time. Yeah. Okay. Along with that is seeing all the gods in that city. The Celestials are there, the big robot looking things. Yeah. Who are not huge, like, because they're just looking in through that window and like they're supposed to be the size of planets. But like, I'm like, you're so disjunct with these properties that you're producing, you can't even have like similar ideas across the board.
Yeah, I agreed. I saw them and I was like, this is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't have something like, you can't have the way that this movie is just it. You can't have something like Eternals and then this movie coexist. Like,
Right.
they don't coexist. They are not. They don't feel like they're in the same universe
Yeah.
at all. They feel like two completely different movies that just happen. Yeah, they're two completely different movies, universes or whatever, and we decide to just put them in the same one because Marvel sells tickets.
Right.
And yeah, I totally agree with that. I also think they had a huge missed opportunity of a few gods joining their side. You
Oh,
could have
yeah,
added
absolutely.
a couple brand like that samurai guy. Like,
What?
oh, the guy that he steps over to walk downstairs in that really awkward, stupid thing. There's just a samurai god.
Oh, okay.
And like, it just made me think, maybe not him specifically, but I was like, he's calling out to the god for somebody to help.
Yeah.
And like, somebody would have.
Oh, yeah.
Like, somebody would have saw him kill Zeus and be like, "Oh, this guy's strong."
Well,
and also,
by the way, you guys saw that. Yeah, Zeus isn't dead.
yeah.
No, I was asleep for the Zeus part.
Which, if you're ever going to be asleep, that would have been the part to be asleep because all that stuff
Is meaningless.
is meaningless.
I woke up
Yeah.
and they had a lightning bolt, so I figured.
There you go. And look at that. You didn't miss anything.
Yeah. Well, Zeus throws the lightning bolt at him, and he catches it, and then turns around and throws it right back at Zeus, and it goes right through his chest.
It
but
really looks like he just straight up murders him.
yeah. And then they fight their way out, and then the donkeys and the ship show up.
And then Valkyrie's like, ooh.
Oh,
it
right. The
is.
screamy things.
Yeah.
Listen,
Did you like the bit?
the screaming, I liked it for the first like 2 times it happened, and then that was it.
I liked it outside of the Guardians of the Galaxy part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once
Me
it
too.
left the Guardians of the Galaxy, it was better.
Yeah.
But with the like that whole Guardian of the Galaxy bit
Yeah.
was garbage.
Oh, yeah.
And that made it worse.
Yeah.
And then once we got outside of that, it was funny. Especially, I thought, is his name Gorg?
Gore. G-O-R-R.
No, not him. The rock guy.
Korg.
Korg. I keep on thinking it's a
K-O-R-G.
G. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, Gore and Gorg? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But Korg?
The whistle thing was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I thought that was there are good bits, but there's a lot of crappy ones. And
There
maybe that's
was-
just like, oh, I wonder. Like I listen to a lot of stand-up comedy, and like,
What?
It
That's
sounded like
crazy.
you said, I also do a lot of stand-up
no.
comedy.
I
was
listen
like,
to a lot of
what?
stand-up comedy, and now that I'm thinking of it,
So
like
those late nights are.
they talk about how like they're always throwing new bits out, and like they just play them at clubs
Yeah.
and see if they land.
Yeah.
And they
Mhm.
only like they work on them until they finally land. Movies don't get that opportunity.
Right.
And like it almost feels like Marvel is just like we're throwing out bits. We're just here's all of our bits. We
Seeing what
don't
sticks.
know what's gonna make it, but we're throwing them all at you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like a few land, but a majority don't.
Yeah.
Unless you're just a Marvel.
Stan.
Yeah, Stan was definitely the word I was going for.
Mhm.
And then all of them land because like your comedy is at a IQ level of 7.
Yeah.
So
I did like when they're fighting, when Korg gets latched onto one of them and they're like fighting the shadow creatures. I did.
There
I
was
like
one
that.
time that I forgot that they were there. I think it might have been after I woke up, but I don't really know. I forgot they were there. And I think it had to do with the rainbow. I don't know. They like crash landed maybe.
Tristan, please. It's the Bifrost.
I'll never remember that.
when they went
But
to the shadow plane and like they literally like
And they just like run straight. That's good.
yeah, and
That's
they
good.
scream.
because it looks like it's really far away.
Yeah.
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 And they're like, ah!
Yeah.
I totally forgot about them, but that was funny.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah. Yeah. So the goat thing was fine. I really thought when he first sees Mjolnir and he tries to call
Yeah.
it, and then Stormbreaker kind of like slowly comes into the shot. I thought that was really good. And then
I don't like the weapon having a personality.
Exactly.
thing.
But then after that, I was like, I'm not into this. I don't think, because it happens like so many other times. Also,
it's a extremely reoccurring bit, and I don't. It doesn't make sense.
right.
When has
Yeah.
it? This has never canonically happened.
Yeah.
Where like he's had a relationship with his weapon,
Yeah.
and any weapon, like he just randomly now has a like real like relation, and his weapon now has a personality. Both
Yeah.
Mjolnir and the axe.
I 110% thought that when Gore goes to open the way to eternity, that Stormbreaker was gonna mess it up.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
they've been setting that up for the
100%.
entire movie.
Yeah.
and nothing.
yeah. I thought even if he doesn't mess it up, he was gonna have some like fight.
Yeah.
He's gonna like. He literally did not allow Thor to travel to a place he wanted to because he was mad that he was talking to, and he just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot this thing right at the gates of eternity.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you're not gonna have any fight back. You're gonna have a personality, quote unquote, but you're not gonna like.
Right.
You're just gonna allow this
Yeah.
god killer who tried to kill your god that you're so mad about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that too. I didn't catch on to all of that until when it was already shooting the thing, and Thor was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll get you out soon." And I thought it was like wiggling, trying to get out. Maybe when he was like jabbing at the thing that was holding it,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Is it trying to open?" And then I'm like, "Well, if it had a choice in the first place, why did it do it?"
Also, if so, you're telling me all Thor had to do to get his hammer back was to go back to the pieces of his hammer and just think really hard, and his
No.
hammer will come back together.
No. The Thor came. The hammer came back together because he had told the hammer to protect
Jane.
Jane, and she came back and she was dying.
Yeah.
So it came back together to help her from dying.
Well, I mean, Thor needed help, and his hammer was busted. Why did he have to? I mean, why couldn't he? Why couldn't
Because
it work
he doesn't
then?
have cancer, Trevor.
Yeah, is that the key? Is it just you have to
I'm
have
not-
cancer to make Mjolnir
You have
come
to
back together?
be
I'm not saying
terminally ill.
I'm not saying it's a great plot point. I'm just saying like that's why it activated for her. I think.
No, I get that
Yeah.
part, but like,
Wait. Also, had he come in contact with the Scrapple?
no,
Scrapple?
he left it there.
Yeah.
But she's also like, the hammer called to me, and it came to, and
Yeah.
like I came to seek it out. So like, did the hammer move on? Like
Well,
that
the hammer apparently
hammer
did
moved
move
on.
that
with his
seems
life.
so weak to me. Like,
Yeah. Also, let's be honest. The axe, 1,000 times better than the hammer.
a million times better.
Fuck the hammer, dude. That axe is dope.
It's so dope.
I would 100% rather have this dope ass two-handed hammer
that could
slash
summon
axe.
the Bifrost, which like only 2 weapons in the MCU can do. Stupid.
Why does he have that?
So
he made it to kill Thanos.
once upon a time, there was a movie called Endgame, Infinity War, actually, and he traveled to a star to create a new weapon that could kill Thanos.
Oh.
This is taking place after Thor Ragnarok, where his hammer had been broken by Hela, who was also his sister.
But also,
Yeah, I
that
didn't know he
hammer-
had a sister either.
that hammer, yeah, that's not important, but like,
Because she's gone now.
yeah,
Like every other villain in the MCU.
she was in one movie and
Oh, she
died
was bad?
instantly. Yeah.
Oh, she was real bad. Like,
That's why
bad to
everyone.
the bone.
That's why everyone laughed so fucking hard when she showed up in that stupid play.
Is that
As
Amy
was
Melissa,
fat.
Melissa McCarthy.
That
Yeah,
was Melissa. Oh.
that's why everyone laughed because she's a bad character. Like she's not a bad character, but like she's a bad guy,
And they got an
Mhm.
actual bad person that could play that person.
and she came out fat. That's why. Which I mean, as a quote unquote body positive nation,
I am glad that they're keeping the Matt Damon bit going with Matt Damon being Loki.
I don't
Yeah.
remember the first bit.
It happens in Ragnarok too.
Oh.
Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I've seen
didn't know that.
Ragnarok, but I wasn't a huge fan, so I watched it once. And
But-
Kristen, you're not gonna freak out that that's Matt Damon?
Because
it was obvious.
also mom told me he was going to be in it.
Oh, okay.
And so I was looking for him. And then he turned his face in the play, and I was like, what?
I'm pretty sure I heard her laugh at that moment when his face
Yeah.
showed up.
Yeah. So,
We're talking about something. Oh, the hammer.
The
The
hammer,
hammer
yeah.
axe. Hammer axe is so much cooler.
It
And I
is.
know it's not. I know it's not Thor's weapon, and that's why they keep on like.
bringing the hammer back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like oh, it was so sad that he lost his hammer, but now he has his axe, but he still loves his hammer. The axe is better.
Stupid.
The axe is better. I'm
100%.
sorry.
Yep.
It looks cooler. It literally destroys a giant in one slash without any kind of like. It even seems like it has more lightning power. Like this thing is just better. The only thing is that like it hasn't really shown that it has this much control.
Yeah.
Like with Natalie Portman, or Lady Thor, whatever you want to call her, Foster. She throws it out and she like can just control it like whatever as like a force boomerang.
To be fair, the hammer does that too in Endgame, or the axe.
Oh, okay.
The axe does that too in Endgame.
Well, bam.
Mighty Thor is her name.
No, it's Lady Thor, Mighty Thor, or Dr. Jane Foster.
Oh.
That bit was rough to get through.
Yeah. It was.
Also, while we're talking about bits, she definitely does not say it's Thor in time. I was pissed.
Sorry.
You had left me like I
to
thought.
be fair,
that
I didn't tell you guys. I just said you'd be surprised.
when I saw that, I was like, no fucking way. No way did they have a movie that came out 2 months ago, the meme blow through the roof, and they're like, you know what? Let's add this stupid meme in here.
Oh my
I would have appreciated it a little bit.
Yeah.
I would have thought it was stupid, but I would have appreciated the awareness of like
The
meme
people.
culture. Yeah, what the people really love. Yeah.
The awareness of the people.
Yeah.
We already had enough meme-ness with the Minions stuff going on
Nope,
this past week.
Not enough. Need more.
Stupid.
Sorry, I'm not in my
Minions.
outfit, everyone.
Yeah. Sorry.
Gross.
We tried. Yeah. Tristan had to bear it in studio, and I got to enjoy it in studio, but you guys didn't get to see all its glory.
I found my horse blinds and I had those on. I was just staring straight ahead.
Yeah, I also thought when she whispers her catchphrase,
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna say it's Thor in time, and I was like, that would have been perfect,
Yeah.
but no.
But no.
But you don't know what she whispers.
Here's my question: why is she Thor?
That's
Why? There's only one Thor, right?
honestly,
Isn't he a
don't
god?
you can't think about it. It doesn't make sense.
So the
hammer.
The technical answer is in the comics. There's an alternate universe where Jane Foster has cancer.
I'm so tired of alternate universes.
But in the movie, they decided to keep it this one and
Yeah.
and do this whole thing with
where the hammer grants you the power of Thor.
to be Thor, because that's
No.
what it seemed
Yeah.
like.
It just grants you the power of Thor.
It
And-
seemed like she's like, I'm Thor now.
Yeah, and it's because she has the power of Thor, so she is Thor.
I
And
thought it was dumb.
I also thought
she
that was
needed
dumb.
a new name. You can't have the same name.
But I think it's also because Thor is very heavily associated with Malnor. Like that is Thor's
What?
weapon. The hammer.
Mjolnir.
Oh, what did I say? Malnor?
Malnor.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Greek
Mjolnir.
names,
There it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
But his hammer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Thor is directly represented, like the
well,
person
then
that
she
holds
could
that.
have had a little bit different outfit, not copy exactly like him.
I really dug the blue. I will say that. I did enjoy Thor's updated costume for this, the blue with the red.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was very.
that's fine.
I didn't really like it.
Oh, that's right.
I
But
think it also
if
might have been
anybody,
my pre-knowledge of it being just fake.
Oh,
might
yeah,
have also
yeah.
made me dislike it a little bit. But
Yeah.
anything needed to change, it was her. She is not the real Thor.
Yeah.
Are you getting mad?
Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm feeling really spicy about it.
well, it's just like
It's dumb.
don't just make a
Yeah.
female version of a
Yeah.
character. Like make her.
Her own thing.
And they did such a good. They did a good job of making Valkyrie her own.
Is that the black girl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's her
Tessa
own.
Thompson.
She's
Yeah.
her own
I like
Woman.
her
Yeah.
great
a
character.
lot.
But then you're like, no, woman Thor.
Also, I have something to say.
Oh, here we go.
I
Hot
don't-
takes.
I
Go.
don't know if I should say it so you can cut it out.
I won't go.
Okay. Did anybody else catch that she said that she had been in love with a woman before?
She's homosexual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Already canon.
wait, did we already know that
Yeah.
before this movie?
Yeah.
Well, then it makes it a little bit worse.
Well,
I just thought
Keep
it was
going.
funny that the main black girl in this movie and in Lightyear are both gay. That's funny.
That's really funny.
Heard it here first. All black girls are gay in cinema.
That's what Disney's telling us. It's not my fault.
It's almost like being
Subliminally.
a minority, as in like
Yeah.
black. Like
Yeah.
that's not enough of a minority.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're just gonna kill two birds with one stone. We're gonna make you black and gay. See, minorities.
Oh my goodness.
I see your point. I see your point.
Thank you.
You didn't know because you hadn't already, like, you haven't
That's-
watched Thor
yes.
Ragnarok or don't remember it. One of the two.
I've never seen that one, I know.
Yeah.
I don't remember Infinity War at all. So.
No, you've seen.
It is the better.
You've seen that one.
Oh, I know, but I don't remember it.
Oh, okay.
I know I've seen it.
Okay. But also,
Do you like Infinity War and Game better?
I don't know. That's, my my straight. I don't know how to phrase this, but the sexiness of Chris Evans and that beard in Infinity
for
War
real.
makes me want to say Infinity War just for that.
It's a
Oh my
panty dropper.
goodness.
Um, boxer dropper. I don't care.
Hey, yeah,
So-
you're right.
Ew.
You're right. Have you seen that beard? It's incredible.
I hardly remember
the fact
what
that
you're
they
talking about.
shaved that for Endgame makes
Ugh.
me want to dismantle Marvel. It's
From-
like
yeah.
I also think beards in general are better than not having a beard.
yeah.
And
That's
you
why
would
I have
you'd be
one.
100% correct.
So I have a biased opinion,
Mm.
but also, like, everyone says Infinity War's better, and I
Really? I hear the opposite.
no, everything I hear says Infinity War is so much better.
Really?
The biggest reason why I don't think Infinity War is better is because none of it's real. You like
Oh, the ending. Yeah.
you watch Infinity War and everyone says the movie's so great because it leaves on such bad terms. Like, no, it doesn't.
I just like it because the villain wins. If you were just taking it
But
Infinity
he
War,
doesn't.
I'm aware of that.
That's
But
what I'm
if you
saying.
take it as what it is, there's
If you
no
take
end
it-
game.
If you take it what it is, there's a movie that comes out 1 year later that retcons all of the deaths. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would like to say it's better, but then I know that none of it matters.
Yeah.
That's like watching a movie, but then
Now,
they're
to
like,
be fair, before we get too heated about this, I agree with you
yeah,
because I had to say, was seeing it in theaters. I heard people were crying
Yeah.
and like bawling their eyes out, and I'm like, "There's
none of this.
no way none of these people
Yeah.
are dead.
Yeah.
No way."
They are not killing. They're not killing Chadwick Boseman,
No.
Black Panther. They're not killing Tom Holland.
Yeah, and also because Marvel made the not stupid mistake. I mean, they have to do whatever, but like,
They signed these people for 3 movies, and
yeah,
he dies
Tom
in-
Holland had another movie coming out like 3 months after Infinity War.
But technically, that was a prequel
or
before.
Endgame or whatever it was. But there was like it didn't work because there were
Yeah.
characters. Doctor Strange had Multiverse of Madness on the horizon, but he got in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I totally get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, that's kind of my struggle with it. Is like,
Yeah.
I
That's
do think it's really good, but also, like, how much of it matters?
No.
And that's why because everything is just overturned in the next movie. So
Yeah.
this is an Infinity War episode, but
Sorry.
What happens in Infinity War? Who fights?
Thanos and all of the Avengers.
Oh,
Literally
right.
everyone.
That's what happens in that one.
And then that's when
Okay.
he snaps and they all go away.
Infinity War. Wait, what happens in Endgame?
Endgame is when Iron Man snaps and Thanos.
And all of his little minions get turned to
I
dust.
don't remember that. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
She's watched them, trust me. We'll watch them together.
Yeah.
Don't worry, everyone.
So you don't add her.
Yeah, don't at me.
Okay.
I've seen it sometime.
I show her a lot of movies, okay? Okay, so do you guys got anything else you want to talk about on this movie?
I feel like there's one more thing, and I can't think about what it could be. Oh yeah, so the first confrontation we talked about where it should have ended is where. Oh, I remember.
Shadow Planet?
Weapons are stupid in this. That's the biggest problem I had.
In the Kid War?
Christian Bale is my favorite part of this. The worst problem I had with this, not the Kid War, thank you though, is so
His sword?
the Bifrost is a big part in this because they have to get to different places, right? The only thing right now that can summon the Bifrost to get people places is Stormbreaker, and that is it. And so he travels. So they get the thing figured out with the goat boat. But then Gore gets the axe. I love when he drags stuff. When he's like walking away, he's dragging it. Both. That's a good shot. But then it's like, okay, well, how are we supposed to get to that? And he's like, oh, no worries. I'll just use this lightning bolt that I stole from Zeus, and it'll take me exactly where I need to go. And I'm like, does that also do that then? Does it travel in a different way? Like, how would you get... You put such importance on needing to use the Bifrost to get to different places.
Well, no, they had already said that there were different ways to do it, but the axe is the only way to do it in masses.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
So.
But okay, so
I do
my other
understand.
thing
I
is
do understand the overall issue with it, though.
they were like, having this lightning bolt gives us an army, and like this is what we really need. And if Valkyrie's the only one that uses it, I mean Thor does use it at the end, but in that fight, she's the only one that uses it.
Well, yeah, she's the only one that uses it because his other weapons are mad at him, and he doesn't want to use the lightning because then the axe is going to get sad and not work properly.
Yeah.
The problem with
Yeah.
personalities and weapons that should not.
Emotional damage.
Get out of here.
That wasn't good.
That was good. Yeah. Anyway, that was my. There was some disgruntledness between the weapons and how they were used and things like that in this. So,
It's understandable.
yeah. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm ready for ratings.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot about it.
Don't panic. You'll be okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I switched the wrong thing there. Well, Trevor, what do you got for ratings?
I have 3. And
My turn?
I was gonna make it a 2, but Christian Bale brings us up to a 3.
I say 2.
Ooh, roasted.
Roasted.
Like a marshmallow.
I think I'm also a 3. I don't want to put this was better than Multiverse of Madness, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, mainly because of Christian Bale's, and it's not just Christian Bale. It's just there was a really good story in that, and that was good. They went way too much. Like it tried way too much to just be a straight comedy during a lot of stuff that really dragged it
And
down.
some of this was real cringy. Like,
oh yeah,
when Thor he's like, Jane. Stupid.
Yeah.
In the middle of a fight.
Oh yeah. So I think 3's fair. I enjoyed it more than I did Multiverse of Madness, and not as much as like No Way Home or something. So yeah, I think 3's about where it's gonna be. Go.
Solid.
Not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, thankfully.
Good.
And also that the CGI, or not the CGI, but I guess kind of CGI, but the scene that had been rolling around Twitter about everyone hating on the movie because it was just a grass field and he was holding the lightning bolt. I don't know if you guys saw on that Twitter, but everybody was making fun of it, and it wasn't as bad when you finally watched the movie. It's not great, but it wasn't as bad. There were some that CGI part was in the shadow realm when they're like trapped by these weird tentacle things. That CGI was awful.
Yeah.
Was unbearably bad.
Yeah.
I said it in the spoiler free, and I didn't want to spoil exactly what
I
it was.
couldn't figure out what was weird about that scene, but that makes sense.
It literally looked like it was not interacting with the stuff around it, and like it just it just looked like PS2, PS3 graphic stuff. Like you are a movie, like
you are a
not
movie.
just a movie, but a Disney Marvel movie.
$200 million movie.
Yeah, 250, I think. Yeah. Money out the wazoo, make it good. Stop being stupid.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
All this being Disney, in the words of Yzma, it's dinner time.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a bit about it for today's episode. Tristan, if you can look at our calendar, you can tell us what we have up next. So thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to rate and review. And next week we will be here with
Where the Crawdads Sing.
Where the Crawdads Sing. Is that the only one?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we'll see
it's
what that's about.
Oh, Gray Man comes out that same weekend, I think.
Ew.
Did you just boo Ryan?
Chris Evans?
No, Ryan Gosling. Yeah. He's in the Gray Man.
Barbie?
No. we do stand Barbie in this podcast.
When is Barbie coming out?
Chris Evans
Like next
is
year.
in that movie too. It's a Russo brothers movie.
You talking about Barbie?
No, I'm talking about Gray
Gray
Man.
Man?
What's
Yeah.
that?
Ryan Gosling's the main guy in it.
Russo bro. No, it's Chris Evans. Look it up right now. Do it. Russo brothers are Marvel guys. They did.
I didn't
of the,
say stupid. I said stupidest. Look it up. Name that movie.
Is it Benchwarmers?
Nope.
Is it?
Letterbox, The Gray Man, Anthony Russo, Joe Russo, going down. Cast: Ryan Gosling,
Is Chris
Chris Evans, Ana de Armas.
Boom.
Other words.
Oh, so 3 main characters?
In other
Is
words,
that what I'm hearing?
Ryan Gosling was the first one on the list.
Well, to be
Therefore,
fair, if Chris
I
Evans,
was right.
Well, to be fair,
Oh.
if Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling were both.
Hey, moron!
Okay, but what's
You talking to me?
I don't know. It's an action movie with Ryan Gosling.
You talking to me?
And there seems to be
who
no
doesn't?
sign of
I was saying,
intelligent
no,
life.
the episode,
Hello?
The episode will either be The Gray Man or whichever we get more
What an idiot! What'd you expect? I'm the movie moron.
what was funny?
Okay, that's it for today's episode. If you stayed around this long,
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people! I've known sheep that could outwit you.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
No, none taken.